And we are live. All right. So, pop this here. Good. Ooh, excuse me. So, yeah, anybody that comes into the channel, any of y'all guys that come into the channel, feel free to post below. So, while I wait for people to come in, I'm going to knock out some work over here. Let us go. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the channel. I'm doing some work over here, but yeah, anybody that wants to learn how to deal with stress, just let me know what you're dealing with. Type down below, and I'll give you guys some solid advice. Hope you guys are having a good day. Stay good. All right. We are studying right now, so knocking out some study and knocking out some terms. So it's actually a carryover provision. Okay, missed that one. It is a carryover provision. All right. Okay. So I guess I was wrong about that. Let's see if we can get the music going here. All right. Oh, I guess that's why the music's not going, because I don't have my speakers on. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Um, Verma, I don't really know what you just typed, but I will tell you this. Anybody in my channel who doesn't have a little bit of basic respect will be booted. I don't care. You can unsubscribe. I really don't care. My channel is for people who are curious about stress management, business, anything that you want to learn about. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a veteran business owner. Basically here to help you guys. Okay. Pink Ham, Ellie. Hello, Ellie. Hope you're doing well. I got a little bit of background music here on the piano. So what I am doing, I'm studying for a test coming up. So I got some stuff coming up. But in between my study, I figure, hey, anybody that comes in and wants to learn, wants to ask some questions, this is a safe environment. Kind of think of me as like Uncle Chris. Cool? Yeah. We'll hide that. Yeah, Freddy Frost Bear. Hey, I listen, I don't want to talk about myself, but what makes me feel like I can help other people is I traveled for 10 years. Um, I've been to 23 countries. I lived in Japan for 3 years. I fought in Afghanistan for my country. I'm an entrepreneur, a veteran. I had a 15-year-old mother I was beat the hell out of growing up, and I overcame a lot of those obstacles. I mean, essentially, I'm a successful entrepreneur now. So I feel like, anything that you guys are going through, I'd like to be able to share with you because at the end of the day, you know, life can be kind of tough sometimes. And I want to make sure I'm doing my part to help the generation coming up. And that's just from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, Ellie, Freddie, hope you're doing well. So, Jimmy White, well, there you go. Jimmy, yeah. What branch did you serve in, Jimmy? if you don't mind me asking? Wait till this gets through. Don't renew. Yeah, thank you for your service, Jimmy. Trask, hi, hello, welcome to the channel. Oh, USMC, hey buddy, I feel you on that. Then you probably agree if you was the USMC, if you was a Marine, then you probably think that's probably the greatest flag we ever had for our country. I feel you on that, baby. Yes, sir. So thank you for your service. Trask, hello. Hope you're doing well. Every person that types, I try to engage with you guys. All I ask, give me a thumbs up, share the video. Anyone who's looking for some positive energy, some good encouragement, this is a safe place to talk. Yo, Jason Melton. Hello, Jason. Hope you're doing well. That's cool. So, I'm studying for an exam. What's up? Bicentennial Marine, sir. Well, there you go. Awesome. Thank you for your service, and thank you for serving the greatest country on earth. iSub, hey, Trask, thank you so much. That's a heart for you. I'll show you guys this. This is my little area in my room where I served. This is some of the teams that I served with. I'm in my underwear, so forgive me if you see a sexy leg pop out. It's all right. It's a good quad. Trust me on that. But yeah, some of my time in Afghanistan. Oh, you're very welcome, man. I mean that with the bottom of my heart. These are letters written from kids that sent me letters when I was Afghan, some medals and stuff, some stuff I took. But yeah, Iran, hello. Hope everything's well. My channel definitely is for everybody, even if somebody disagrees, if we have different stolen valor. Aussie Jace, I don't really know what you mean by stolen valor. That can mean a lot of different things, but in the real world, things happen that's out of our control, and all we can do is do our best and keep pushing through. It's the way of life, guys. You're either going to survive or you're going to die. And you have to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. Now, I'm not saying that our country is the best or that I do think our country is the best, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have flaws. The key is to understand this thing right here, the Constitution, right? And it's understanding why we, the people, hey, what's up? I don't really know what you're writing with, I think it's Arabic perhaps, but if you can, translate it into English so I can communicate with you, okay? Now, when I was in Afghanistan, I got to talk to Palestinians, I got to talk to people from all over the Middle East, and it is complicated, but at the end of the day, anyone who's trying to hurt me and my country members is not really a friend of mine. That being said, that doesn't mean I still can't have a certain amount of respect for a living life. The weak fall by the wayside. Only, yeah, Jimmy, it's true. You know, and the key is HPV vaccination. The key is surrounding yourself with a group of people who hold that mentality, the men and the women both, and keeping yourself immersed in that type of culture. Because weakness gives birth to weakness and strength gives birth to strength. And it's not easy, guys, but it's so necessary. Take it from someone who's traveled the world. When you read in your history books and you read there was a war, well, I fought in a war for like 6 years. Any Marine, any Army member, I'm fourth generation soldier. I can tell you, people are not always good. Okay. And at the end of the day, you have to understand this and understand what the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution actually mean. And if you don't know, This is some from Hillsdale College, okay? I'll show you this right here. Go to Hillsdale College, sign up for some of their courses for free, and they will send you. It was a sign on the O course. Yep. Yes, it was. The Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, you want to understand what this means. You can get a free copy from Hillsdale College from just signing up to their online programs. I donate to this college every year, but even just from signing up, you can get a good copy and make sure you understand this. Okay. Just, it's so important for the young men and women to understand why we believe so much in the Constitution. Because remember, the brilliance of the Constitution is that we, the people, have the power. It was the first document in recorded history where it took power away from the government and gave it into the hands of the people. It is a brilliant document. Is it perfect? No. Nothing in the world is perfect. But I swear on my life, if you understand what this Constitution means and you take the time to learn, books, read, 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 the more information that you can absorb, okay, the better off your life is going to be. Because when you're in, and this is what this video is kind of about. When you are confronted in times of your life and you have to make a decision, it's going to sometimes be tough. The way you're going to make a good decision is by educating yourself and arming yourself with knowledge. Okay. Knowledge is everything. Now, that being said, anybody that comes into the channel, the whole purpose of this video was to have you guys, if you have PTSD, if you want to learn about how to manage stress, if you want to learn about how to get to a goal, maybe you want to learn about working out and nutrition. I'm a personal trainer and a strength and human performance coach. Love to train. Take care of your body. Any of these subjects that you guys want to talk about, feel free to write down in the comments and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Yeah, Jimmy White. So yeah, Jimmy, Jimmy, he wrote here, what we do here in America echoes around the world at all times. That is a fact. No matter which way you slice it, that's a fact. Ellen, or no, Elsa Olsen. Hello. I remember that name. Miss Elsa Olsen, she was in one of my last lives. Wisdom is different than knowledge. Yes. 100% I agree with Elsa. Now, before that, I was reading Mr. White's comment. Good morning, Elsa. It's good to see you again. Yeah, Jimmy White put this over here. Common people here need to know that. Jimmy he served in the Marine Corps, so he knows firsthand what it's like to be a warrior. Okay. I can relate to that because I was in the Navy in special warfare. I served with warriors and I'm proud of that. And when we traveled together, I learned and saw firsthand what Mr. White here, what Jimmy is talking about. It is so true that everything we do in the United States is affecting the entire world. We are the epitome of power in the world. We have so much going for us as a country, but oftentimes that's not reflected in the common man and woman in society. And it is our job to teach this. We have to show the common man and woman how powerful this country is. You have so much opportunity in this country to do whatever you want. Remember, the power of the Constitution being a constitutional uh, republic or a democratic republic, we as people, okay, in a pure democracy, it's like 50-50, but let's say there's an issue and 51% of people vote and 49% of people vote. In a pure democracy, 51% of the people can take away the rights of the 49%, which is not always good. But in a democratic republic or a constitutional republic, 99% of the people cannot take away the rights of 1%. That is a brilliant, brilliant form of government, right? And if you pay attention, our modern construct and our modern government is not it is not holding to the true ethics of what the American provision in history was actually shown to do. By the way, Jason, no, I do not live in Texas, although I did think about moving to Texas. But after I got a divorce earlier this year, I moved back to my home state, which is Georgia, right? But I have lots of friends from Texas. Um, it's I usually get along with a lot of people from Texas because I love freedom. I'm a big supporter of the Second Amendment. Um, I'm a veteran. I am kind of a savage in my own way, born primitive. Shout out to them for giving me this T-shirt. Um, yeah, so this right here is America's Provincial History. Okay, it's a very good book. I recommend. Right, getting hello from the jungles of Texas. Yep. Jimmy's funny. And good morning to you, Elsa. America's provisional history is very true, right? Now, depending on whatever your religious beliefs are, I am not going to uphold or I am not going to be someone that's going to preach, that's going to try to say you have to believe this or that. However, no matter which way you slice it, no matter which way you slice it, here's a couple books I recommend for you guys, right? Really good books. Take a picture of those. Okay. The Constitution was founded by basically influences from the philosophers of the Greeks. So you have Aristotle, Socrates, and Plato's, and they inspired us to come up with the Constitution in the United States. And the Christian faith was a very big part of that. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone has to have the same belief because we do have a separation of church and state, which is important because we don't want a country that just says you have to believe this one belief. If what you believe is so powerful, it should be strong enough to attract people and they should be thinking, well, why did you become this way? Why are you this way? And you should have your actions have a magnet and attract people to you. And the only way that anyone's going to do that is to read and learn and educate themselves and become the best versions of themselves. Yeah, I haven't been to Texas recently, but will you guys tell me? Um, I know Elon Musk moved from California and he built one of his facilities in Texas, and there is a lot of technology coming out of Texas. Although Musk and Trump and the whole political scene, that's kind of a mess right now. I own Tesla stock, but I also voted for Trump. I like to see the best in everybody, and we're not all gonna. Uh, Funny thing about the world is we're not all gonna get along at all times, but Elon Musk is a pretty interesting guy, and I do feel like he's someone that we need to keep as an ally just due to his brain power. Maybe he's a good guy, maybe he's bad, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, when he bought Twitter and he turned Twitter into X and he released a lot of those public files, He may have saved an amendment. Jason Melton, Trump 2028. Well, I forget. I read this the other day, but there was the president. I forget. This is terrible of me, but that's okay. I'm going to say, which president served 3 terms and why? I can't remember. The name's slipping me. Yeah, it was Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR. He was the first, he was only one U.S. president to serve more than 2 terms. He was elected to 4 terms: 1932, 1936, 1940, and 1944, right? Now, at the time, there was no constitutional limit. So, since Franklin Delano Roosevelt, there have been constitutional limits. I think it was to the 22nd Amendment that was ratified in 1951. Now, I will tell you for sure, if there was an option to vote for Trump again, of course I would. Listen, I served in the military at Bush and with Obama, right? And I got out kind of in the midst of Trump, right? But the wages and the policies dictated from Trump compared to Obama and Bush, it was better for the average American soldier and sailor when Trump was in office. The pay was better, the benefits were better. It was just better. And, I think Trump should win a Nobel Peace Prize. I really do. He has stopped more wars with less bombings. He's bombed other countries 70 to 80% less than Obama. He has deported like less total individuals than Obama. Obama deported more legal aliens than Trump. And that's a whole nother subject. And I don't want to turn this into a political conversation because I'm not the strongest aptitude in history. I do my best, I read, but I have other aptitudes. Now, that being said, yeah, Jason, if we could vote in 2028, it would be cool. Um, it's just we're going to have to figure out this 22nd amendment ratified in 1951. That's going to, yeah, facts are facts, though. Yeah, I mean, facts are facts. I just wish I knew more facts about history because when I was growing up in school, I saw firsthand the programming that they were trying to do to me. And long story short, I was jumping from school to school. You remember, guys, one of the reasons I feel qualified to talk to you guys online is because I had a 15-year-old mother. So, growing up with a 15-year-old mom, I was in school, and I never had that solid foundation. It wasn't until later on in life that I pursued education independently and actually tried to learn. Oh, yeah, I appreciate that. Not necessarily being apologetic, but for sure. I just am being vulnerable to you guys because as a mentor and a coach, I like to share my vulnerabilities with you guys so you can have an understanding of my perspective. And when I tell you things like, this is what I've experienced, this is what I've seen in the world, it's not coming from um, an ignorant source. It's coming from a little bit of wisdom and experience anecdotally, but also an undying. Yeah, it's diverse, and you could also call it eclectic. Good word of the day, eclectic. So if you don't know what eclectic is, it's a good meaning to know. But someone who's eclectic is it's ECLECTIC. It means I draw ideas, styles, or tastes from a broad, diverse range of sources, right? I'm a musician. I trade stocks. I sell insurance. I train people at the gym. I have I lived in Japan for 3 years. My perspective is a little bit more diverse than your average man or woman. And that being said, I choose to share this with my fellow brothers and sisters because remember, and you know this, Jimmy, we both took an oath to protect and serve the Constitution of the United States of America. And I'm sure you know we have to obey the orders of those appointed over us. And as an individual in that fraternity, you know, we we also support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. And we represent the fighting spirit of those who have gone before us to defend freedom and democracy around the world. And anyone who knows their creed knows we proudly serve our country's combat team with honor, courage, and commitment. And we forever took an oath to be committed to excellence and have the fair treatment of all, my friend. Oh, it's absolutely tough. You know, one of the toughest things that one of the toughest things mentally that I struggled with for a while that I had to get through was when I knew warriors, and I call them soldiers, you can call them, but I call them warriors. I'm a Viking. I went out there for a second. I'm in the middle of the sticks in Georgia, deep into the woods. Like we have deer and animals everywhere. So my router signal isn't the best, but one of the things I was getting at, Jimmy, it is tough sometimes. When I knew warriors, right? Again, I'm Viking, German, Scandinavian. So I have a deep line of warrior heritage, right? The warriors of this country that went to fight, and God bless their souls, some of them lost an arm, some of them lost a leg. When some of these warriors returned back to their country, and uh, the prior executive office, if you will, the prior president, Kamala and Biden, they were allowing policies to pass where immigrants coming to the country illegally could get preference of housing over the warriors that fought and defended our country. Stuff like that drives me crazy. It almost wants me want to run for political office one day, which sounds crazy, but I'm building an insurance business where I sell premiums. I focus on Medicare and Medicaid. Should I ever build up enough premiums? Because sometimes, like in the month of January, you can make like $60,000, $70,000 in one month. If I can turn that into where I have enough money to run, I would potentially run for political office. Yeah, see, Jimmy, very true. Like, you know, you understand. So you probably have that dire killer instinct to protect and love and be part of a group, and you probably love being around the men, and I'm sure there's some badass women out there. I ain't saying it. There ain't many of them, but there are a few. I've known some kick-ass women who could do 10 body weight pull-ups, they could run. They're not gonna carry a 200-pound man on their shoulder and run them through a field. They're not gonna do that. I don't care what you say. They're not. But I've known a few kick-ass women that could shoot really well, and they had good spirit, and, we all have our place in war. But if you've ever been overseas, you either know or you don't know. I am a big supporter of females in all situations, but there's certain qualities that men have physically that women don't have. If that hurts your feelings, I'm sorry. That being said, one of the best officers I ever worked for was a female because she was so organized and keeping everything together. Everything flowed great. One of the best nurses that ever gave me surgery was a female surgeon, right? There's just different roles that different people are better at. And I've never met a woman that can take a 200-pound man, throw it on her shoulder, and carry him out of a war zone. But maybe they're smart enough to get a towel, put it down on the ground, roll the big mother. Well, I ain't supposed to cuss on here. Roll the big guy on there and use their brain to drag him. That maybe. So, you know, that's okay. Um, it's just that's nature. That's life. If you don't like that, then well, life's not fair. You know, I don't like that I tore my back and I didn't get to play professional baseball. I had a 98-mile-an-hour fastball in high school. I didn't like that I failed that, but that's life. You take it on the chin and you take your experiences, and when you find someone else who has that potential, you vicariously encourage them and you live that dream through them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, of course, Jimmy, yeah. Everybody jokes about it. Yeah, well, here's the thing. You're picking up a gun, how much does a machine gun weigh in, like, what, 50, 80 pounds? I've known I've known plenty of female soldiers. I said I headed to Waffle House to grab 2 steaks and grilled chicken, love it, with toast and orange. Hell yeah. Hey, Webb, that's hey, going to Waffle House to grab 2 steaks, a grilled chicken omelet, honey pepper grits. Dang, you see, he ready to take on the world, man. You got some grits and stuff. And, yeah, Jimmy, I've known some female soldiers that were kick-ass. I have known some absolute monsters. A lot of them were track sprinters. There are female soldiers that can do some cool stuff. Okay, yeah, so 26 on an M60. Yeah. So 26 pounds to put on your shoulder and carry, that's not a lot of weight. I know plenty of females who are 150 pounds, 40 pounds, some 160s who can do pull ups. That's easy. There is always a time and place for that. You know, it's all about the mind. If someone wants to serve their country and they have heart and they have spirit, even if they're not strong, you want them there. You want someone that you can depend on that's going to do whatever they can to save you. And that's not limited by physical strength. And you also need competency. Men and women both have to be able to be competent when someone's looking at you, like in Marine boot camp or in special warfare through like SWICs and stuff. You need to be able to have someone screaming at you, loud noise everywhere. You got to be able to box breathe. You got to be able to calm your ass down and make a decision. Most men and most women cannot do that. The majority of people that can do that are male, but even with like the last bombing in Iran, we had female pilots that helped do that. It is possible, but statistically, it's less probable for a female to do that than males. It's just a statistic. That doesn't mean that females can't do it. It's just out of the norm, which kind of makes you think when you do find one that can do it, it's kind of kick ass. You know what I mean? Um, you know, because remember, even Jordan Peterson, yeah, even Jordan Peterson said one time, men and women differ for two main reasons, right? Men are focused mostly on things, and women are focused mostly on people. That doesn't mean that there's not, that doesn't mean it happens to everyone. But men typically are focused on things and they usually pursue jobs based on things like science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, like the STEM fields. Women typically focus on people. And because they focus on people, they usually have a nurturing instinct and they usually prosper more into the nursing field and things like that. When you look at the pay on those two occupations, the people that focus on things and science typically have higher pay just because of the aptitude required for that. Now, that being said, there have been exceptions to this rule, and some of the exceptions to this rule have been like some of the female physicists. Some of the greatest scientific contributions to mankind have been made by science pursuers and a lot of physics. I forget the lady's name, but she outscored Einstein in a mathematic exam. I forget her name. They just made a movie about it. But you see these uncommon characteristics. And if you take away the men and women and you take away the natural ability and the aptitude, what it comes down to is a little bit of aptitude, but also the grit and perseverance of just getting shit done and having a fortuitous and a perspicacity of the ability to just push and go and say, screw it, I am going to do this no matter what. My personal experience, friends, I do better when somebody tells me I can't do something. I don't know how you guys feel. Um, yeah, Tendrick Webb, man, that's one of the funniest posts. He said, I got orange juice, wheat toast, chicken omelet. Well, on that note, come over here. Let me grab my charger here because we're about at 20% battery. I am walking around in my underwear, so if you see a sexy quadricep pop out, that's just mine. All right, let me pop this up. Yeah, when it comes to performance and brain power, one of the things, and I'll tell you guys, when I say I live in the sticks, it's my backyard. I mean, I'm in the sticks, baby. But when it comes to food and performance, let me tell you guys something. Food is everything. Grass-fed beef, bananas, chicken, steak, carbs, fruit, veg. And we about to get ready to go to the gym. But food is everything, guys. Having access to good food. I got some milk in here. Any of you guys who want to get stronger, trust me on this. Protein powder is cool. Yes, sir. Organic milk from the state of Georgia, fat-free right here. I only got this because this stuff's like $6 to $7 a gallon, and I got a discount for like $3.23. So it expired that same day, but because I'm deadlifting again and I'm putting size back on, I'm gonna pee real quick. Forgive me, because I'm putting size back on. Nothing puts size on me faster, right? And if it offends you that I'm peeing, I really don't care. I have an office at the house, and all I do is eat and train and study and do YouTube videos now. So I've also been downing a shit ton of food lately. So when I down food, it's just one of those things that I eat a lot, I poop a lot. So that being said, um, any of you guys have any questions about anything we've covered? Yeah, man, y'all let me know. I am going to have to go here in about 5 or 10 minutes. But, I'm really enjoying these YouTube videos. I get so many people that come in here and talk about things. I just have my schedule, and my schedule is pretty simple. But I don't, I see a lot of people doing their lives and they're doing all these things. They're all fake, dude. All these people don't live in the real world. And I want you guys to have a YouTuber that lives in the real world, actually gives you real life advice, and is someone that you can count on that's going to be real. You know what I'm saying? Call me crazy, but, I started my YouTube channel a few years ago, and I stopped doing videos. And here recently, I've been doing videos. And all of a sudden, you know what happened? I got close to 3,000 subscribers. So I would love a chance. I would absolutely love a chance to grow my channel. If I could grow a channel, I promise you this. A2 milk. Yeah, milk is great. A2, yeah, it's not bad. Um, the biggest thing when it comes, I grew up on a dairy farm, right? And at one point, I was a 290-pound power lifter. I'm only like 225 now. I'm 6'4", 225. But when I was at my peak, what made me get strong fast was organic milk, right? And I focused on getting stronger. I did isolation exercises too. But if you focus on getting your deadlift or a row or any type of music, I say music, any type of movement that allows you to get stronger with your whole body will elicit the most amount of growth, at least in my opinion. Right? That's what I think. Yeah, all that food, Jimmy. Yeah, man. Food is where it's at. Food is medicine, you know what I mean? All right. Now, that being said, let's see. Oh, you got a 250. I used to be 265 now, 215 now. Yeah. So, you know, if you want to put on size and strength, you know, rows and stuff like that are really important. Yeah. So it's like train your back, train your legs, train to get stronger. And the key is if you want to like build muscle and be strong, I believe in graze eating. Yeah, Jimmy, it's kind of like I had surgery and I got out of it, but the last month or so I've been training again and I'm making hella good progress. And yeah, heavy heavy rows, heavy deadlifts, overhead press, benching is good too. Just work on getting stronger and eating food. And yep, and always find something creative to do. Like for me, piano is it. So during therapy sessions, I always try to play this at least one time. This is one of my favorite things to play. It's Pachelbel and Canon D with my little twist. So it's yeah, yeah. All right. Now we got that done. You are what you eat. Oh yeah. Yeah, man, as far as like just getting better and having more what I like to call testicular fortitude, right? Just to be able to push and grind. Yeah, man, rowing daily is super good. Um, you just have to make sure that your body can handle the load that you're putting it on. And if you're a Marine, you know this. You know, you serve, so you get this. Any person who trains understands this, but there is a difference between training for muscle and training for performance. So if you want the best of both worlds, I like to phase my workouts when I'm training my clients. We go through phases, and when we go through phases, we'll do like a power phase. During our power phase, we're putting on as much strength and thickness as possible, right? Then after our power phase, we'll go to a hypertrophy phase, which is lighter weight but more repetitions, right? So, in my opinion, as someone who's a certified strength and I guess you could call me a certified strength and conditioning coach, and I also am a human performance coach. I make money doing that. One of the things I have found that really gets people is they don't phase out their training and their workouts, right? You don't want to do the same type of training all year around. You want to do like pop this over here. Let's see. In my humble opinion, you want to have power phases, hypertrophy phases, conditioning phases, and then you want to eat to support that growth. Um, and nobody eats enough, you know what I mean? Like nobody eats enough. That being said, I'm about to make me a smoothie before I get ready to go to the gym. All right. So we're going to take this. Here's a tip for you guys. Damn, I'll get that later. Here's a tip for you guys. Frozen bananas, right? Frozen bananas, right? You get frozen bananas, and this is your ice for a smoothie. Potassium, electrolytes. This will give you a great pump in the gym. So I'll take bananas and I'll unpeel them. Come here, you motherfucker. Sorry. I'll take those frozen bananas and I'll put them in like this. Now you got to remember, I've already had like 2 snacks today. Ugh. Also makes your hands stronger because you got to undo them. I've had like 3 snacks. I've had like a bunch of turkey bacon and grass-fed beef. Ugh. So, pineapple also. Pineapple's good. But my go-to is to take sweet potatoes, right? So sweet potatoes, watermelon. I have some 93% grass-fed beef mixed in with a couple of these turkey sausages. I'm gonna eat 2 of them. Right. I'll take like half of this sweet potato and I'll just grab it with my hand. Right. My fridge. So I'll take the banana and the sweet potato. Yeah, man. I mean, you can cut out nitrates. It's kind of like this. I see the science. I'm not convinced that nitrates are as bad as people say in limited consumption. But I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. So it's kind of like I like certain things to help keep me consistent. So I figure a little bit of nitrates isn't going to be the thing that kills me in my diet, you know. But yeah, that's a great point. The slow diet, yeah, the glycemic carbs do help you burn more calories at rest. I'll use a whey isolate just because at my weight, I'm trying to get, let's see, I bumped up my frequency to where I'm training heavy again. And I am like doing, yo, A-Trask, what's up? I'm just doing a quick little smoothie here before I go to the gym. Um, kind of doing a quick little smoothie here. Oh, sweet potatoes, great. So I cook sweet potatoes in my air fryer, right? I cook them like 15 at a time where I can. And I'll take those and I'll add those frozen bananas and some protein powder into my smoothie. I'll put 1 scoop because remember, I'm only need about 20. I try to get 25 to 25 grams of protein 6 times a day at a minimum. I believe that more frequent, smaller portions of protein are better utilized in the body than large lumps of protein at once. Yeah. I grew up on a farm. I understand irrigation systems, right? And anytime we wanted to water crops, we didn't throw all the nutrients on the crops all at once. And when I get back, I'm going to have my grass-fed beef ready to go. Because when I get back from the gym, I'm going to be working. I'm basically going to have all my food ready, and I have the conveniency that I work from my office at the house unless I'm traveling to a client. But I'm telling you, the quicker and the sooner anybody who trains understands this, the quicker you are going to make the best progress in your life, male or female. Everybody should eat the same. We are meant to graze and eat all day. Yeah, Jimmy, I agree with that. And I have one of these, right? This. I am Coach Chris, so I carry this around. Coach Chris Healthy Moves Meal Prep, get into the best shape of your life. I got a Yukon outfielder, so inside of here, if I travel, I'll take all my food and I'll carry this around with me. And that actually, I'm telling you, the missing element to everybody's training is 5 to 6 port. Take your body weight in protein, divide that by 5 or 6, and get that evenly spread out. Everybody laughs. Everybody wants to fast. Everybody wants to do. And yeah, but again, when I built myself, I had a 720-pound deadlift at one point, and I built myself up from a 160-pound little skinny, what you could call a pencil neck, and I built myself up from more frequent eating, right? And the leaner I want to get, the more I stay with protein. The stronger I want to get, the more fat and carbs that I add. You're going to get bigger and stronger eating more fat and carbs, right? And if you eat enough beef, you don't even need to use creatine. Because 1 pound of ground beef typically has 5 to 6 grams of high quality creatine, right? So, yeah. And add those frozen bananas, Jimmy, to your smoothie, and it is so good. So 5 times a day is probably ideal, like minimum, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then 2 snacks. Hey, Trask, hey, what's up? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? 5 times. I believe that. I have tested this because when I was in the Navy as a ACFL, an assistant fitness leader, a command fitness leader as well, my job was to get people to get in shape, right? And I noticed that when I had people eat smaller portions of protein throughout the day, I just noticed their body would perform better. Like, there's always people who don't have to do that. There's always people who have certain genetics and all this. But if you're training all day, like I'm 6'4", about 220, 25 pounds. Okay. When I eat more often and I send these signals to my body will begin to get stronger and it will begin to build muscle at a fast, rapid race. Like I put on muscle pretty fast. Like I'm not like gifted or anything, but I think it's the German and Viking heritage. And when I put organic milk, what is this? Restricted message. Okay. Oh, retracted. Yeah. ATRAS. Cool. Now, that being said, let me drink this real quick. When I wanted to put on the most amount of size on my frame, okay, this was my diet. And I got strong as hell doing this, right? And I'm going to get back into it. After my surgery, I've taken like years off of training. 2 months into training, I'm already up over 15 pounds. And it's pretty solid. I would eat 5 to 6 portions of protein by my body weight divided by 5 or 6 minimum. Snacks in between, whole organic grass-fed milk with no chemicals, right? I would then snack in between on baby spinach. I would eat baby spinach, watermelon, and pineapple as my snacks. So pineapple and watermelon, I can eat as much as I want, helps keep my metabolism going. When I want to eat something, I chew on baby spinach leaves, and I eat that in between my 5 or 6 meals. So I would have, and peanut butter as well. I'll add peanut butter as a fat. So I'll take the blueberries, the pineapple, the watermelon, and the spinach. I'll eat that whenever I want, surrounded by 5 or 6 servings of protein. Not too many calories at once, because if you eat too much at once, your body may get a little bit stuffed up. But if you keep, I don't think I would want to jack with you too much, bro. I don't know. Well, I love the train, man. Like, I can still pull 400 or 500 pounds on my rows, and it's not. I do a cheat row. I'll take the weight. I can row most people's deadlift, right? And I row it and I row it. I get thick when I do full body compound movements, focusing on 6 to 8 explosive reps, getting stronger, writing it down, and then pairing that with other workouts where I take lighter weight and I do higher repetition. So, sometimes you want to have phases where you get strong. Tears up a lot. Oh, yeah. At my peak, man, I used to break chairs all the time, but it's like, you know, I grew up really skinny as a runner and a baseball and basketball player, but I kind of got that urge to get thick and succulent, if you will. And once I started putting on size and I realized how to do it, I'm just saying it's kind of fun because I didn't grow up super big. I grew up kind of lean and strong, but kind of skinny because I didn't understand how to eat. So when I did get older and put on a little bit of size, I'd be like, yeah, let's go. So, you know, but all my training specifically was to be a weapon in the military to where I could pick someone up on my shoulder and carry them away if I needed to. I do a lot of farmers carries, I do a lot of deadlifts. I don't like flat bench too much because it always kind of hurts my shoulder. I got these long ass arms. I'm 6'4" and my arm length is someone for 6'7". But when I take dumbbells, I love dumbbells and I like incline bench and I love weighted pull ups, overhead press. If you can stand up, like if you want, I have a pretty good taper. Like I have a good taper and I'm wide. If you get to where you can just stand, I don't know if you've ever seen a hex bar, but it's like what you deadlift with. It's in the shape of a hexagon, right? Which is 5 sides, right? You put one of those in a shoulder press stand and it puts your elbows down to where you can go super deep and then pull up. Doing standing overhead press with a hex bar will do so much for thickness. You got all your gear jacking with you too. Oh yeah, like the Kevlar. Oh yeah. My body armor, my Kevlar, my helmet, my nods mount, you know, my um M4 if I had it or if we were carrying. But a lot of times when we were training, we would have 50 cals and 240s and those heavy ass ammo cans. But yeah, yeah. And actually, on that note, you saying that's funny, Jimmy, because I have a tactical wolf vest over here. This one right here. Um, oh, there it is. I use this. So I have a tactical wolf right here. They're a little bit expensive compared to other vests, but my tactical wolf, and I have a pull up station over here. So I use this for physical therapy, but I have a tactical wolf. And yeah, when you look at the inside of the plates in here are actually like Kevlar. So yeah. Oh yeah. Like if I want to go do cardio or go for a walk, I'll throw that sucker on and just go for a walk. And that is really cool. Because walking is like when you lift weights and you get bigger, you get to a point where you get enough size on you, all that running can be detrimental. You want to walk with a weighted vest or you want to sprint on the bike so you can keep up your conditioning without doing so much running. Running's great and I used to run a lot. I've done marathons, but that running mixed in with weightlifting does not go hand in hand. You're better taking a weighted. All right, we're good. Yeah, the battery almost died on my phone. So, this is my buddy right here. This is my business partner. That's my dog. All right. So, when it comes to getting in shape and building muscle, I believe you're better taking a weighted vest and then walking on an incline or getting on a bicycle. Because on a bicycle, there's something called wattage. If you can measure how much wattage you can generate on that bike, you can get some really good benefits without that pounding. The thing that hurts people in their training is they do a bunch of pounding and pounding and pounding. You know, they do a bunch of this impact cardio, and that impact cardio takes away from your ability to lift the weights. Now, if you're a soldier and you're training overseas, 100% you need to be able to run. Now, I'm not going to say that, but if you can walk with a 50-pound weighted vest on all day and you take that sucker off, I guarantee you can run faster. I'm just saying. I mean, look at policemen. They carry a weighted vest all the time, and most policemen are in pretty good shape. Some of them are fat, but even the fat ones are really strong. And then you have a couple of the ones who just, I don't know, they're bullshit. Oh, yeah, you know it. It's like the Dragon Ball Z training, right? You put on a heavy turtle shell and you move around, and when you take it off, you feel lighter. I mean, Dragon Ball Z's got some crazy ideas for training, but a lot of them work. So, but yeah, my pre workout smoothie, so you know, I may have breakfast and have some snacks. I'll hit my protein and my carbs, but I always load up on a sweet potato, frozen bananas, and a lot of good carbs before I train. I'm going to chug this down, change, head to the gym, and come back. I chug a lot of carbs before I train, and then I'll take like a whey protein shake after I train. So it's 11 o'clock, and I've already gotten probably 30 to 40 grams of protein, 25, 30, probably four times. So I'm already at 160 grams of protein, and it's not even noon, but I'm spacing it out. Now, it's not easy to do that. And if you have a job where you have to work around all day or you are at a desk, you need something like this to where you can snack all day. But I'll be damned if I'm going to bust my ass in the gym and be too lazy to prep my food. Because when it comes to building size, you're training hard every now and then, your food is more important than your training. But you love to train and you want to keep stimulating. The more you can stimulate, the more you can make progress and keep those protein. Five is good, but I think six is better. Five is probably the sweet spot because there's something called the law of diminishing returns, right? Yeah, and the thing is, if you want to be super healthy and you want to have longevity and all that, you can argue that fasting is good. And I'm not against fasting because I go through periods of time where I'll fast for a couple days, remove all my glycogen. But when you're in a training phase, right, the best time to fast is after you've done like a 4 week power cycle to where you're hitting it 4 or 5 times a week. You're splitting up your workouts, right? And you're pushing. And then maybe at the end of that, you do some fasting where you give your body a break. But when you're in a power phase and you're training and you're building strength, the food is what's going to separate those that really get gains. Like I'll take this bold statement. People who eat properly versus people that don't will sometimes get better effects than people using performance enhancing drugs who don't eat properly. The food is that powerful. Yeah, ketosis is kind of bullshit. Ketosis is for fat people. Look, if you're fat and you look down and you can't see your pecker, forgive me for anybody who's in the channel. Love you guys. I have strong opinions. But if you look down and you can't see your balls because you got this big old gut, that's not good. That's bad for you. So ketosis, yeah, I know it's terrible. Ketosis is good if someone is insulinogenic. If they can't take carbohydrates and they can't process them properly, okay, get into ketosis and then drink a lot of water and salt and get your body used to carbohydrates again. Once your body can get used to carbohydrates, you want to get to start putting them back in. But here's the thing about ketosis: you can't train hard when you're depleted. You can train you can train hard and push through workouts and you can maintain. But when you're trying to grow strength and power and that comes along with muscle, you're going to have a hard time doing that without carbohydrates. Okay? So, I believe even if you're in ketosis, you should still be training, but you're not going to be able to train as hard. And at the end of the day, it's not how often you go to the gym, right? Here's my gym bag. Like a lot of people make fun of me because I'll show up. I think so. I mean, yeah, I think you need carbs to fuel tough workouts. I eat carbs while I train, especially if I do a long session. Um, this is my gym bag, right? So I've got a couple pre-workouts. Sometimes I use an Alpha Brain with no caffeine, right? I've got a back brace. Um, I've got my Versa grips, but also over here, I have a notebook. My notebook, right? It tells me I'm going to write down when I do certain lifts because I'm not always in the gym to get a pump. A pump is great. I love getting a good pump, but a pump ain't going to grow any type of muscle. Okay. Maybe for your arms and certain stuff, you get some blood there, but what's going to grow muscle is you. Now, if you're a power athlete, you want to be explosive and that'll build thickness. If you want to grow muscle, I think about six, maybe eight, 6 to 10 reps, probably around eight. Controlled, like if you're doing a press, control, boom, control, boom. Or you do boom, 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 like a piston. But you do that with a weight that you can get 6 to 8 reps. And if you can hit that, you go up in weight. You continue to go up in weight until you plateau and you do a power movement. Your power movement, you want to get stronger because when you get stronger on your power movement, then you can take your hypertrophy, your rep movement, maybe later on, and you can lift more weight under tension. Most people don't do the power movements. And you'll see these people who have abs, but they're 120 pounds. And it's like, bro, if you 140 pounds, like I know guys who are in middle school that have abs. If you starve yourself, you'll have abs. Okay, that's cool. But if you're trying to be an athlete, be strong and look good naked and do all that, you got to get stronger. Like the bone density, your bones get dense and thick when you put them under heavy weight. That doesn't mean you want to hurt yourself, but it does mean that feeling heavy weight is going to keep your bones more dense. Dense bones are what create, I believe it's your red blood cells or your white blood cells. The stronger your bones, the better immune system you're going to have. Yeah, everybody does. 6 to 8, 4 sets of 6 to 8. So let's say you have a 100-pound bar and you're doing an exercise under control. Like I like my under control is like this, boom, boom, or I like to do 6 to 8s with power movements and then write down that I'm getting stronger each week. And if you have a weak body part, I'm getting into a lot of science theory, and this is against what a lot of people say. But I believe that if you constantly are getting stronger and you're feeding your body's going to adapt. It's going to adapt to a stimulus. Now, if you've got a lot of size and strength and you just want to like blow up, yeah, do the chest, back, shoulders, legs, arms, bro splits, and all that. But I find more like finding a power movement where you can just get better at it. So it's like I have an incline, there's a flat and an incline chest press machine at the gym. And what I'll do is I'll put some blood in my chest. Oh, the human body is amazing, especially when you pair it with nutrition and water. I'll put some blood in my chest and get my blood kind of activated in there, like get my chest kind of pumped up. I'll do some internals and externals. I always do mobility work for my whole body every day before I train. And I'll go in there to one movement and say, okay, I know I can hit four plates on this machine. So that's like equivalent to like a 380 press or 400 press. But if I know I can do a set of five under control, add weight, set of five, I don't want to burn myself out. I want to get stronger in that movement. When I get stronger, my body gets thicker. Once I'm done with that power movement, everything else is just putting blood into the muscle and then stretching it with blood in it. So it's a warm up, a power movement. Write down the weights from that power movement. You don't got to write down the stuff outside of that. All the isolation and all the bullshit, you don't need to write that down. It's a main movement like a deadlift, a row. You just want to get stronger at a power movement because once you're stronger at your power movement, everything else will go up. If you get if you can't do if someone can only do like 8 pull-ups with their body weight and they get to where they can do 8 pull-ups with 50 pounds strapped to their waist, I promise you your curl will go up. But if you get your curl to go up, there's no necessarily nothing there that says your pull-ups are gonna go up. Oh yeah, man, that was my first love. I mean, I was a weak little fucker. I mean, I wasn't weak, but you know, I I studied a lot to get better at training, man, and I wasn't a naturally strong guy. Except for my back. I was naturally good at deadlifts. Like I could deadlift like 450 in high school, in middle school, but I worked on a farm. But my pressing and all that, I could deadlift and I could run all day and I can throw the hell out of a baseball. But the other stuff, the squats and all this, I didn't really get good at it until I understood about how to train, right? And once you understand that your body adapts and gets stronger to full body movements, you pair that, man, and write it down. You go in there and let's say you're doing, 50-pound dumbbells for a set of 8 to 10. Okay. Well, in 2 weeks, can you do 60 pounds of dumbbells for 8 to 10? Can you do 70-pound dumbbells for 8 to 10? If not, then all the other exercises you're doing are just junk volume. So what you want to do is, okay, week one, I can do 50 pounds. Well, I don't know. I think so. Um, yeah, I think I'm naturally like have the ability to build some size and strength, but I don't have those crazy muscle insertions like some people do. Some people have those crazy muscle insertions that just pop. I'm not one of those guys. I have better strength endurance. Like my peak, I could do 405 pounds on the deadlift for 50 reps. So I'm more like a power fight, go power, kind of more of a strength endurance athlete more than like a bodybuilder. But I love bodybuilding training because it makes you look juicy. Oh no, not like Arnold. Arnold was a freak. No, Arnold was a freak, but Arnold started out doing full body 3 days a week or upper body lowers, and he built a base of strength. Um, And Arnold was actually pretty smart when it came to some of his training. Like he would do snatches. Like who in the gym does overhead press and snatches and from the floor deadlifts? He understood angles. But the thing that Arnold really understood, he had a 700 plus pound deadlift. He had a close to 500-pound bench, right? He had a 500-pound squat. He understood that he needed to get stronger. And through that strength and building that base strength, he could then build a body off of that, right? Ronnie Coleman, same thing. Frank Zane, same thing. Jay Cutler, a little bit of an example. Serge Nubret, all these great lifters had strength. That doesn't mean that they're solely strong, but having that strength, strength is never a weakness. Let's just leave it at that. hmm And in case you guys were wondering, this is my office. So my office is right here. So I have my music, got my screens, my stocks, right? And then that's my dog over there, and that's my bed with my flag. So after these videos, I've got my bed, my office. So one of the things that's going to make you successful in life is this, guys. And I'm going to end on this note before I hit the gym. You want to get your body strong. You also want to get smarter, right? Like you got to study stuff, right? Like study, 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 study. Thoughts on migrants? Skippity doodah. Well, you're on my way out of the stream. My thoughts on migrants? Well, it's kind of like this. I'll be honest with you. I think if someone comes to this country and they do it the right way, this company should have welcome arms. We love migrants in the United States. We have a culture where migrants and immigrants, they um they have a place in society, and anybody that comes to this country and then, when you're an immigrant and you come into this country, you have to take an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. If you do that and you provide for your family and you take advantage of all these opportunities, then that's great. But you can still love the country you came from and do all this, but because you came to this country, you should support the Constitution and you should help us fight for this. And I know friends who were in California who came into this country legally from Mexico, started businesses, did everything right. They hate, just like anybody else, exactly. They hate the people who cut in front of them and came in here illegally. And I got to think, if I came in this country as an immigrant or a migrant, right? And I did things the right way and someone cut in front of me and didn't do things the right way, that would piss me off. You know what I'm saying? So there ain't a, s- I'm a veteran, you know, I fought for the Constitution of the United States of America. So if someone comes into this country, yeah, for sure, Skippy doo dah. It's like we all want opportunity, but it can't be for everybody. There's a limited amount of resources, and all of us in the United States are taking tax dollars and putting it into a giant pot of money. When someone comes into this country and they don't follow through the process, they are taking the money away from everybody else who put money in that. And that does not settle well for me because that money is supposed to go to elderly through Medicare. It's supposed to go through Medicaid when people don't qualify. It's supposed to go for veterans who blow their arms off supporting the Constitution. It really gets me upset when people illegally come in that way. Now, it's tough because some people just want to escape from other countries and come in, and I get it's tough, but that doesn't mean we change our standard. No American patriot is ever going to look down on another individual for trying to make their life better because guess what? We gave up our life to serve this country to make it better for everyone else. We purposely chose to give up our freedom to fight for this country, and we love anyone who wants to support. I have served with Americans, Asians, people from Ethiopia. I've served with Germans, JTalk. Every person that did things the right way, Duda, we love them. But we don't like people who want to take away what we're building. And neither should an immigrant who does things the right way. Think about it. You're sitting in line, you're taking a year to go through the process, you're taking care of your family, and someone else just cuts right in front of you and they think, oh, I'm just going to do this and go anyway. Yeah, I have great friends overseas, and we all want the same thing. Yeah. So it's kind of simple like that, man. My ex-wife is from China. My brother married someone from Ecuador, not Ecuador. Oh, what is it? I'm so far off. Peru. She's Peruvian, and I'm not gonna lie. I know why he married her because she has a great ass. That's not the only reason. She's also a teacher and have a master's degree, but she's beautiful. The first time I saw her, I was like, hey, does she have a sister, bro? I'm just playing. That's the guy's perspective. But you know, but at the end of the day, she came over from Peru, didn't speak the language, right? Got involved in the University of Georgia, got her green card, applied for citizenship, and now she's pursuing a master's degree. I have nothing but respect for her for that. Because I know lazy people who were born in the States who are on fentanyl in LA who just sit out there on the side of the streets and use tax dollars that I fought for and I put into a pot to get a paycheck every day, and they speak the language of the country. I don't like them. So in that situation, I appreciate and respect the immigrant more than the citizen. It's a case by case basis, but you just put that in perspective. Um, so I have got about 3 minutes left, and then I'm going to go. We're going on 80 minutes. I hope everyone's had a good time. I love, man, I love doing these lives with you guys, man. Hopefully one day I can grow this channel. Um, but sometimes YouTube blocks my videos if I say certain things, and it's getting better since the new election. But man, 2 years ago, if I would have had talked about immigrants or anything like this, they would run checks on my videos because I've done over 1,000 videos online. And it's like, I never want to be scared. Oh, thanks, Jimmy. I had a good friend back in the day named Jimmy White. Believe it or not, his nickname, he was a whitehead, but his name was Jimmy. Thanks, Jimmy. Stay good. Have a good day. And yeah, stay good, brother. Oh man, there's a bluebird outside. There's a bluebird right there. I don't know if you can see him. He's pretty. All right, guys, stay good. Skippity doodah. You came in, I think, a little bit later, but if you have another question, then this is the time before I get out. Oh, there's 2 bluebirds now. 3 bluebirds. Bluebirds, cardinals, a woodchuck, 4 deer. I love it. God, I love being in the country. I love seeing the animals. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, guys, on 81 minutes, we are about to get out of here. Yes, skippity doo I'm out in the country in Georgia, right? I just moved back here from California where I had a good time. But after going through a divorce, I decided to come back to the East Coast. Yeah. I've never felt better in my life being back in the country because I was gone for like 17 years traveling the world. And, you know, people talk about religion and God and all this stuff, and we all have our opinions on it. But I feel closest to God and the divine when I'm out in nature. When I see birds and animals, I mean, I am kind of a savage because I do hunt and I do eat animals, which may be good, may be bad. But, you know, I still feel close to nature. Yeah, I love animals. I don't know if that makes me a savage or a sociopath or whatever. Is it possible to love animals and still kill some of them and eat them? I don't know. That's one of the questions I sometimes think about. But I do know I'm stronger and I'm able to protect the people I love. And I don't kill anything that I don't eat. I would never kill an animal or hurt them unless I plan to eat them. And then hopefully I honor them by that. But yeah, the birds out here, the cardinals, the bluebirds, they're just so pretty. You too, Skippity Doo. And on that note, I'm out too. Yes, stay good, like, subscribe, and next time, maybe I'll play some piano. God bless.